just about under control. We don't want them too under control here. Just about on the edge would be nice by us.
Yeah, a few donuts would be nice, wouldn't it?
We had a couple earlier, didn't we, when they got it wrong and styled it out. David Bonning was almost the first of our donuts here. I'm not referring to him, of course, I'm talking to his ambition in the car. There's the Toyota AE86 Corolla of Jeff Maybank. Crystal just met alongside one of two New Zealanders joining us for the historic Rally Festival this year. First came out in 2014 in a Corolla TE27, which, if you watch the special stage coverage of events which feature the British Historic Rally Championship Cruise, you'll know Ian Beveridge is doing a very good job in one at the moment, and that was great to see on the Roger Albert Clark in November last year. People still talk to us about how incredible that event was and what Colin Heppenstall and his team have created there. We're looking forward to the Anglo-Caledonian this year, which has a day in the north of England and a day in Scotland. It's a cut down Roger Albert Clark. We're really looking forward to that, and the big news from our point of view at least is the special stage will be there in November to cover that event. We're really looking forward to it because, well, it just feels like rallying is having a bit of a renaissance. I said at the beginning of 2024 that this is the year of the rally car, and here I am, sat next to a world rally champion, talking about stories that before now I'd only ever heard about third hand. And so are you, if you're watching at home on special stage, if you're here at the Aptley Estate. How wonderful that we are joined by Louise Aiken-Walker, who was mobbed, I think is the expression, at the meet and greet earlier. Loads of people excited to see you and get photos. And buy your whiskey as well. For those watching at home who didn't hear about this earlier, if you look on the Historic Rally Festival Facebook page, there's an advertisement for the whiskey, isn't there?
Yeah. And there's not any bottle. Oh, we've had a problem here.
Have we, or are we rally crossing?
Oh, no. Oh, these chairs are... No, this is not a problem. Oh, what are you doing?
That is the man with his name above the door. He's put so much effort into organising the Historic Rally Festival and getting that car prepared. Hopefully it's nothing serious and we'll see him back out tomorrow in that Group A Toyota Celica. Before that it was Stu Wood and Kev Wilson.
He's actually cut the corners, so I don't know if he's got a drive shaft problem. Could be.
Definitely something. He's trying to get that car back as soon as possible, isn't he?
Yeah.
There was a bit of a delay. If you're watching at home, there was a bit of a delay for the spectators earlier. So instead of having one stage this evening, the competitors have put on two stages, and I'm just looking at producer Wayne for a big nod of the head. Are we going live for the second run through the stage as well, producer Wayne? Thumbs up, nod of the head. We are. We're going to stay live with you on special stage. So if you're enjoying having some rally cars on in the background, there is the Autoclass Metro 6R4 of Dan Elmore, and that's probably one of the most well-known 6R4s for modern fans coming to the sport at the moment to have seen, because that's been on Top Gear. The Stig drove that car, and it was the Drive Dad's Car episode of Top Gear, and I think it was it Paddy McGuinness, because he's got a bit of a thing for 6R4s, does Paddy. I think it was Paddy McGuinness. No, it wasn't actually, I'm just thinking back. It was Freddie Flintoff who went into the forest, and they all donned their dad sweaters, and Ryan Champion performed as the Stig that day, driving Dan Elmore's 6R4 on Top Gear. So it's quite a well-known car, that one. And another man who came out here for demonstration events and then did a rally at Cadwell Park for the first time competitively. His dad was ill, and he wanted his dad to see him do a rally in the 6R4, and he hasn't looked back since. The car has never been clean since, and I say that in a very good way. He has the Group B Audi Quattro S1 of Phil Welton and John Shepherd. That's the car that spawned the E2. You had the S1 towards the end of Audi's reign. So it went Audi A1, which was the long wheelbase, just looked like a UR Quattro with some wide arches. That won the Swedish rally and Rally Portugal in the hands of Hannu Mikkola. The old Audi Sport colours, the white, grey, red and black colours, if you remember that. It was launched in the May of 1983. Then there was the Audi A2, which had the lighter weight panels and the wider arches. That was launched a year on from there, I think, wasn't it? And that was World Rally.
What brake horse did these short Audis have?
They had around 400 horsepower.
Yeah. I remember Michelle brought one to the Isle of Man, My God. Something that is.
There's Craig Pennington and Wayne Priest in their Proto Polo R5. Yeah, well, the short wheel battalions like that one, the works cars had a steeper rake on the windscreen, which you may remember from the time, Louise, it was to stop the glare on the longer windscreens on sunny events. And Michelle and Hanu and Walter Raw were complaining they were getting glare because of the long windscreen rake on the Audi Quattro. So the proper short wheelbase S1 Quattro has a really stand-up, sit-up and beg from windscreen design. It looks really odd, looks really stubby and short as a result, makes a big difference. The Dialinks Audi we've got behind us, or was behind us in the show earlier, is based on the Quattro, but doesn't have the change to the rake, because that will be a huge change to the body shell, of course. So that's how you can tell the difference between a replica and a genuine S1 and E2 Audi Quattro. The earlier Quattro version not having Fiesta R5. The early R5 Fiestas really is damn great. It's got the WRC spec exhaust, European spec exhaust on that, I believe, as well. It's a really noisy car. You forget how different they sounded. Now we've got the Rally 2 Fiestas. The sound of the different rally cars is quite something to behold. And then you get the three-cylinder Toyota Yaris R5s, which we've started to see on the stage over here in the hands of Chris Ingram and Myron Evans, and we'll soon see Jason Pritchard out in his version of the car, and they sound altogether very different again. So we're back to the days of rally cars sounding different, which is actually a really good place to be, because many of us who are rally car nerds talk about how rally cars sound. So, you know, a lot of the last few years of rallying, the R5 cars have all had a very, well, no, it's not been a bad noise, but a very similar exhaust note. Now we're back to different rally cars sounding different. If you put an 80s, we used to have tapes of rally cars. My dad's got a tape of rally car noises from the 80s. How you guys used to entertain yourselves in the 80s? You rally, I suppose you didn't, did you? Because you're out there doing the rallies. But how rally fans entertain themselves in the 80s was very different to how we do it now. But I'm all about a cassette with rally car noises on. But coming up in 2025, 26, I think you're going to be able to tell the sound of a car once again like you could in the 80s. There is Martin Roberts, Dave Shipton. Stop talking rubbish, Woodford. The homage to Michel Mouton and the 82 Monte Carlo car. It was built in 2011 in Ireland. This is Martin's first event in the car. Hopefully a new regular attendant to the historic rally festival, you never know. Maybe even a competitive car that we might see on the stages at some point, given that the car is Group 4, not Group B. That is a distinct possibility. The question is, are we going to see the Kedwood Lancia 037 on the stage this afternoon? I really hope we are, but for now, it's the sight and sound of that 206 World Rally car. For those of you watching on special stage who didn't hear me mention this earlier, that is the car that Peugeot used, the shell at least, that Peugeot used to get the homologation agreed for the Peugeot 206 World Rally car. And you may remember that because the car wasn't long enough, they had to create the Gran Turismo road car version, which had the longer, the extended, like the American front and rear bumpers, just to get the weight of the length of the car right. Well, that was the prototype body shell that Peugeot used to get the homologation papers signed off. Neil Brighton, who has famously built that Diac Group B Renault 5 Turbo, has now built that into a Peugeot 206 World Rally car. And it isn't a replica, it isn't a kit car, it is a proper spec, homologation spec car, and it is down on the logbook. A great length of a Peugeot 206 World Rally car. That's Robin Hamilton, Vanessa Hamilton, that Clubman spec 6R4. Screaming. The difference between the Clubman spec 6R4 was about 150 brake horsepower. Still 3.2 seconds for the Group B spec 6R4. The Clubman car would do it in 4.5 seconds. That is an original works car as well, previously rallied by Tony Teasdale in New Zealand. It did the RAC in 1986. That was a year before. Was that the year before your first RAC, or was that 2 years? 2 years before your first RAC, Louise, wasn't it?
1986. Yeah. What, my first RAC?
No, it's been longer. Before that, wasn't it?
Yeah. My first RAC was 1979.
I'm thinking about your World Championship, not your first RAC.
The RAC was 1979, it was about 5 days. It felt like five weeks.
Tell us about that, for those watching at home. Because
You know, these rallies, God, they went on forever. The longest rally I ever did was going over to Ireland to do the circuit for Ireland, and it was 7 days. 7